For the first time in Season 5, the IORA Cup Series is getting ready to rumble. The virtual Daytona International Speedway will play host to the first race of the season, a 100-lap, 250-mile feature, and since 2022, we've been covering all the action along the way. Now, we've seen, as IORA's history's gone by, stronger and stronger fields, and tonight, it'll be a field hard-pressed to beat. Over 20 drivers have registered for the session already, and we are less than a minute away from getting the season on the move. Welcome to IORA Season 5. This is the IORA 250. I'll be covering all the action along the way, commentating and producing. I'm David Kreutz, and if you enjoy tonight's action, be sure to leave a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. Your support is always greatly appreciated. We've got a double header tonight, 2 great races, and we get to kick it all off here at the World Center of Racing as your starting grid comes into formation. Now it's time to get to know the drivers who will be racing in this event, and now that we get a good look at them, let's find out who starts where here in Daytona Beach. At the top of the board, it's going to be James Thurston, who's your champion of Season 3, taking the pole position, and he'll be right alongside your defending FORL Cup Series champion who won at Talladega last season. That is Jacob Wilkerson in the STP number 43. Third place is going to be held by Nathan Palawada in the number 78, and Gavin Austin will be position number 4 in the 022. Fifth place will be Alexander Balders, who will be with me in the broadcasting booth later tonight, and Aaron Schugel is going to come back to the action. He was part of the finish at the Clash and came second in that race. He's looking to go one spot higher here in Daytona. First on the board, that's his goal. He'll be starting in 6th. Seventh place will be held by Henry Kaloff in the number 63, and Xander McKinney will be position number 8 in the number 40 tonight, with the top 10 being rounded out by River Page in the number 24, and Beaver Serrano returning to the action. He's in the 66 tonight, concluding the top 10. Corey Lyles and his number 56 won at Daytona 2 seasons ago. He's going to be starting 11th tonight as Landon Gentry returns to the IORA Cup Series, starting in the 12th position. 13th then going to be held by Braxton Whitaker. Devins Baker will be in 14th in his IORA Cup Series debut, and it'll be 15th place held by Michael Deitch as he moves over to number 17 for future competition in IORA. The most successful driver in IORA Cup Series history is Daniel Mosteller, and the 2-time champion will be starting 16th tonight, hoping to work to the back to the front. He'll be starting rear of the field, more on the back end side once again, but last season he finished in 7th, 18th to 2nd in 1 lap. He's looking to make the same turnover today. Jackson Carr, the number 83, will be starting in 17th, and Josh Berry will be in 18th position in the number 39. Luigi Diaz Gonzalez is one of the rookies on the row 10, and it'll be Charlie Birch in the number 20 machine, 20th place as well. Final 2 drivers, Will Shack in 21st and Tobias Matheson in 22nd. It looks like it's going to be Matheson stalled on the grid as we speak as he gets going now. That's your starting grid from Daytona, and the sun is already setting. It's going to be a nighttime race here from the virtual Daytona International Speedway. We've seen quite a lot of this track on FTN this week, but let's get to know it once again. 2.5-mile circuit here in Daytona Beach, Florida. Opened in 1959, it has been used ever since for historic races such as the Daytona 500, which we saw the annual running of that race on Monday, the 24 Hours of Daytona. In addition, we've seen motorcycle racing, more endurance events, rallycross, and of course, we've seen a litany of stock car events here dating back to the inception of this track. It's embedded into the fabric of all stock car racing, and here on iRacing, there is no difference. James Thurston, by all accounts, had a disappointing season 4. Looking to back up his championship from Season 3, wasn't able to give himself a good title defense. But this is an opportunity to perhaps find himself at the top of the board at night's end and kick off the quest for that second championship. Sean Conklin, your defending champ, is not here tonight, and we are bound to see a new winner at Daytona, given the fact that number 54 is not racing with us. Wilkerson has proven himself to be a superspeedway ace. He won the last superspeedway event in this league, but we've got rookies surrounding him in the second row, and further on back, the new drivers and veterans alike, they seek victory lane as well. The iRacing official pace car will drop down to pit road. James Thurston will lead the field down to the start-finish line, and the green flag will fly for the first time in Season 5. Welcome to the IORA Cup Series. We're underway from Daytona. At the line, Jacob Wilkerson leads lap 1, a much cleaner lap 1 than the season prior. As you might have remembered, last season, first turn, we went wrecking. That's not going to be the case tonight, and already we're 2 by 2, 100 laps for the taking. 21 drivers took to the green flag. Already some big movers from the back of the field as Nathan Palawada drops down low. Tobias Matheson from dead last is already up into 12th. As it stands, and looking to make some big moves now as he's right beside Braxton Whitaker on the bottom side of the circuit. Beaver Serrano maintains himself in 8th, and right now, for the most part, the field is all filed together 2 by 2. Not going to be seeing some big moves so far. Alexander Balderas is now 3rd on the inside line, and it looks like that bottom groove clearly dominant for now. We'll see how long that stays the same. Track conditions are very fair tonight, and they've continued to drop in terms of temperature. When we look at the weather, you're going to see 78 degrees Fahrenheit and very little humidity. Wind eastbound at about 13 miles an hour and partly cloudy skies. As we mentioned here, the track temperature is only 80 degrees as well. So in all of this race, we're going to see that track temperature continue to drop, and when it comes down to the track temperature, it's not going to be a big concern for drivers tonight. Don't expect the tire strategy to be as big a deal as the fuel cycle, and if we keep things going under green, which it looks like drivers are prepared for a longer run, we're going to see that pit strategy come into mind no matter what. Expect about a 40-lap cycle for the majority of these drivers as we run single file for the first time tonight down to Devins Baker. 11 drivers are connected, and then you see a little bit of gap, but Nathan Palawada pulls right back in. Only 2 drivers are outside of the lead draft right now, Daniel Mosteller and River Page, 2-time champion, and River Page, who came in the top 5 of the point standings last season. They're both running together right now, but they're nowhere near the pack. They're about 20 seconds behind, and they're about 1 second lower in terms of timing speed each and every time around. So they're losing time compared to the leaders, and if we stay green, they might go 1 lap down before that first pit stop cycle. James Thurston going to lead the way. He's got himself down to the bottom side. Alexander Balderas is going to be looking for something right up top. At the stripe, Thurston barely has the lead, and it looks like he'll keep it there down low. Balderas has help, though, from Gavin Austin, and they're going to be neck and neck right now up in front. And you're seeing a few drivers start to climb up through the circuit. Landon Gentry in the Voyager number 33. He's now up into 6th and runs just outside of the top 5 here as he runs neck and neck with Henry Kaloff and Jacob Wilkerson. Outside lane gets going with Balderas taking the new race lead. He's got Gavin Austin pushing him down, and it looks like it's going to be the number 95 gaining the race lead as a result, and now trying to put that block on James Thurston. Balderas to the point, and he is set to lead as they come out of turn 4 here for lap 5. Balderas now going to be clear by about a car length to the high side. Gavin Austin has control of the lane up top. It's Austin working with Gentry, and then you go back to Tobias Matheson there in 3rd on that high groove. Devins Baker's making some moves as well, and now that number 14 spot, well, that's where he started. He's up to number 9 in the timing charts, so he's within the top 10 and continues to make gains. Good to see there for the number 14 Toyota Supra. The majority of the field is still bunched up. One driver with a bit of trouble, though. Looks to be Charlie Birch, the rookie in the number 20, has lost the draft and runs 19th as it stands, fading further and further back, and we'll see how much longer he does so as the race goes on. Gavin Austin, Alexander Balderas, neck and at the line. Austin leads the lap. Gavin to the top of the board. And how about that? 2x2 right now. It looks like the high side doesn't have as many drivers, but still running very well right up top. No trouble keeping up with the pace, and the side draft is a big deal already 7 laps in. As the race goes on, we'll discuss that more frequently, but the side draft is going to be a huge deal as drivers are staying 2x2. That's a very risky pull out there from James Thurston, but he pulls it off. And you see, he's already going to be able to take the race lead as a result and go right back up top as he's being pushed by Gavin Austin. The big deal about the side draft is it keeps both of these lanes just about dead even each and every lap, and he knocks into Alexander Balderas, and Balderas goes spinning. 95 machine gonna end up in the wall, and the caution flies as he's gonna flatten the back end. Alexander Balderas has trouble, and the caution is out. Nobody else involved in that one, but we got ourselves a yellow. Take a look back and find out what caused it here. Thurston got loose, pushed by Gavin Austin, and we'll see who's responsible, but the caution's out already. Take a look back and find out what happened. And you see there, Austin going to be pushing Thurston out of the corner. That's going to hook the 96 into the number 95, and Balderas tries to save it. He's still going to lose the back end. Luckily, he has a fast repair, but that's going to send him from the front of the field all the way to the back, and it's of course, cautionary tale early. A reminder, you got to be a bit more patient early in the race. So Balderas is going to catch a piece of the wall. Gavin Austin, James Thurston, and Alexander Balderas involved. Looks like Thurston and Austin both do not have any damage, and just like that, caution is out for the first time tonight. So Balderas is going to be at the back of the field. And now time to figure out what's next. 8 laps in so far, all the field's going to be back together. Will Shack is 5 laps down, but he's now going to be on the track, so an opportunity for him to get back on the lead lap here. It's his saving grace early, and he's going to be the one driver going at full speed as the race goes on. 22 drivers now on the track. 21 took to the green flag, and it looks like some of which are going to be sending themselves down a pit road. Thurston's going to lead the field in, and just like that, we got our first pit cycle of the day. Thurston, Austin, Jacob Wilkerson, and company all make their move down and in. Now time to find out who wins off of pit road, as we're going to take a look at our pit exit camera right about now. Only driver who's not going to be on pit road is Will Shack, and it looks like everyone else makes their way in, as we're going to find out who comes out first. Clearly going to be Thurston, then Wilkerson, Gavin Austin, Henry Kowloff, Landon Gentry, Devins Baker, and you're going to see then on out, it's going to be, in addition, Tobias Matheson, Nathan Palawana, Braxton Whitaker, Corey Lyles. That's your top 10 as drivers make it out of pit road. Looks like Balderas is going to remain on pit road right now and might have gotten a penalty, but it does look like the black flag got cleared as the number 95 remains on pit road. That's his fast repair. He just used it. You see the back bumper was gone, but now it's as if he has a brand new car there. And if we take a closer look, he might have not used the fast repair. No, so he's going to be taking optional damage repairs. As you see, slowly but surely, that car comes back in order. Balderas is choosing instead to wait as the race goes on and not use the fast repair. We'll see how much that helps him as he slowly but surely gets his car back. Every driver has one fast repair tonight. That's going to be one very important thing to keep an eye out for. And if you use it early, you'll be in big trouble as the race goes on. If you get involved in 2 very big wrecks and you use your fast repair in the first, you have really nothing else you can do when the race goes on. So you don't want to risk it and use that fast repair too early. Alexander Balderas deciding the engine is good, the aerodynamics are mostly fine otherwise. You might feel a bit like a parachute as the race goes on early, but it might be better to wait for now. So it's going to be Balderas, who's still on pit road. Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez gets back on the way. He's in 18th. Daniel Mosteller is down the back straightaway right now, running in 19th. And he's going to catch up with the field as we speak. James Thurston going to lead him around to the 1 lap to go signal. It's going to be one more time around before the race gets back on the way. Thurston chooses high. Jacob Wilkerson goes down low. And Gavin Austin follows the number 4 right up top, as they were before. Henry Henry Kaloff moves up into 4th, though, so he's going to gain big. So far, biggest mover of the night is still Tobias Matheson in that number 07. He's moved up from 21st up to 7th. So he's made the biggest gain so far, cutting through 2/3 of the field, and is going to try to make it up even further as the race goes on. The 10th of the way through, and we're getting set to go once again. You're watching the IORA 250, the first race here in Season 5 of the IORA Cup Series, and we got quite a lot of action to bring to you from this point onward. Daytona International Speedway playing host to tonight's race, and drivers are getting ready to go once again for restart number 1 on the day. Wilkerson and Thurston once again at the front of the field. Gavin Austin is going to be 3rd, and Henry Kaloff is in 4th. Time to get ready to go once again. Green flag, it's going to fly, and it's going to be very exciting to see who's got what it takes from start to finish here. Thurston up top, Wilkerson down low. Looks like Daniel Mosteller given an end-of-line penalty, so he'll drop to the back of the field. Not going to be a big deal for him as he was in 19th already. Looks like he's just going to let Balderas and River Page go by, sending him back into 21st. Will Shack is only 3 laps down now, so he gets 2 of those laps back. And we'll see how much more he can benefit as the race goes on. Shaq going to be right there in the middle of your frame. He's hoping to keep on gaining until, of course, the next 2 or 3 cautions. iRacing official pace car is going to drop in this time by. It's Jacob Wilkerson, Gavin Austin, 2nd and 3rd, but no match so far for your control car of James Thurston. Pace car is going to drop down and in this time by, and time to grab a gear. Thurston leads them through, and we're on our way for our first restart of the season. Just like that, on the move once again, down the back straightaway, it's Thurston and Wilkerson still neck and neck, but we're going to see a little bit of movement in the back half of the field. We saw Charlie Birch drop down, Corey Lyles is going to go from top to bottom, and he's making some big moves right now as you see a second pack forming right behind the leaders. Nathan Palawada going to be working with Alexander Balderas. Balderas moves the number 78 up the track, and it's going to be 3 wide as they come across the line. Nathan Palawada losing ground, but looks like drivers such as Serrano and Balderas gaining time back. So movements are going to be big as the pack gets going once again. Will Shack gets down and under. There's the number 39 of Josh Berry. And as you see the track right now glistening, the sun is setting and track conditions are going to continue to change. Visibility is going to change too, as you're going to see the stadium lights come on as the race progresses. However, now it is going to be Jacob Wilkerson rushing down the back straightaway. No match for the outside line. It looks like right now James Thurston has control of both grooves, and he's done so quite well so far. Wilkerson going to get to the back bumper of Thurston once again. James Thurston lies down low. Will he try to swap back up? That's the question here. I don't quite know. At the line, lap 13, and we already saw Thurston and Gavin Austin involved in that first caution, albeit minor. It might be a sign for Thurston to work down low with Wilkerson a bit more instead of running there with Gavin Austin. Landon Gentry going to get a little bit slippery with Balderas right behind him, and you see River Page working right there too. Michael Deitch is going to be in the bottom groove. It looks like he's going to let Corey Lyles go right behind him as Corey drops down to the apron. Not liking what he's seeing, he's going to get out of it and hope to escape the trouble. And as such, another driver making up another position. Balderas already up to 6th, so he's charging hard despite the damage you might see there on the back bumper. Let's get a better look at that damage with River Pages on board, and you'll see a little bit of a disconnection there with the spoiler, but otherwise all is well as we're now going to see a 3rd lane form. Balderas goes up top with Gentry and Gavin Austin, and it's going to be James Thurston shot down in the middle, and he's going to lose some space and some time just like that. 3rd groove going to be established, but Balderas is going to be turned, and another wreck involving the number 95. Yellow flag is out again. Devins Baker, Alexander Balderas, and it looks like the 95, 2 for 2 with trouble. Caution's out. We're going to find out who caused it. Yellow flag is out once again. Alexander Balderas looked to be getting turned, and you saw him in a very precarious spot there. Once again, going to get involved here, so let's find out what happened as the drivers go by. Alexander Balderas right up top, comes down and in, makes contact there with the number 44 of Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez. Gonzalez shoots him up the track, and it's going to be a huge dagger into Devins Baker. Baker gets a big piece of it. Alexander Balderas does too, and as such, yellow flag is out once again. So it's going to be our second caution of the day, both of which involve this number 95, and this time he gets involved with Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez, and he is limping across the track right now. I do not think he's going to be able to get there to pit road by himself. Drivers are coming around, and we'll see who helps him. Yep, Balderas, he is stalled, and he's going to tow it while Devins Baker gets help from Daniel Mosteller. You can see Baker and Mosteller are working with each other right now. This is going to be trouble. Charlie Birch is saying the number 95 is all over the place, so drivers not too happy right now there with the driver in that 95 of Balderas. Baker, though, going to get some assistance, and Demos is backing up, so he's going to try to help out Baker here. It's tricky, but sometimes you can get this to work. Right on board with Daniel Mosteller, and you'll see his charitable work in action. A charity on the racetrack. This is a big deal for Devins Baker because Balderas had to tow, so he'll be waiting several minutes on pit road. He's going to go at least a lap down, whereas if Baker can eventually get there, he'll be one lap down, but it's also going to mean he can get that lap back under his own power. So Daniel Mosteller, he's helping out big here, but he's got to be very careful because Baker doesn't have power at all, so it's almost as if he's doing the towing from the back end. So we're watching on board with Devins Baker, and you can see right now, not much he can do inside of the cockpit, more of the same, and you'll see right there, he's got to keep a steady wheel, keep it straight, and slowly but surely limp his way in. It looks like Baker should be fine to make it at a pit road and might have to get on the clutch to get going once again. He's going a speed of about 44 miles an hour, and it looks like Daniel Mosteller is going to push him all the way. So Demos, he's going to be helping out his drivers on the field, and one of the key members of this league giving a little bit of help to a rookie as Devins Baker limps into pit road. Huge help there for Baker, and he's in. Just like that, he's going to get his new car and a fast repair immediately used. And that's a lot of respect on the racetrack there, and great to see the veterans helping out. It's Jacob Wilkerson, Henry Kaloff, and Braxton Whitaker, first, second, and third, as we're under yellow for the second time tonight. You'll see Corey Lyles there on pit road. River Page is two. Demos is one lap down, but it's going to be a little bit of sacrifice as he helped out Devins Baker along the way. Alexander Balderas, as we mentioned, is 2 laps down as a result of the tow. He's been on pit road for at least 2 minutes here, so not looking good as his motor blew. He'll have to keep an eye out for how he can get those laps back as the race goes on. 16 laps in out of 100. It's Jacob Wilkerson, STP number 43, your current race leader, and Henry Kaloff there in second. Wilkerson won at Talladega last season. It was a thrilling race till the very end. Eventually he came through with that checkered flag, and I think he's got all eyes set on doing it once again. So hopefully we're going to see Jacob Wilkerson with a good run here tonight. He's got a lot of stout competition behind him, and you're seeing some of the rookies slowly make their way up. Charlie Birch is going to be up into 5th. You look back, and it's going to be Tobias Matheson in 10th. Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez is in 11th, and you'll see Xander McKinney in 13th. Nathan Palawada back for a full-time campaign in 14th, and Josh Berry there in the 16th spot. Here to go once again, 17 laps in out of 100. We'll be coming back to lap 18 for your second restart of the day. Yellow flag is out once again, and it was a contact between Balderas and Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez, which gave way to the trouble. Now we're hoping to get back on it and perhaps go for a long green flag run. The racing has only just begun tonight in the IORA Cup Series, and if you're interested in joining the fun here on FTN, we'd love to have you there with us. Tell you this much, our official Discord link is in the description of all of our broadcasts, and it's on the QR code, which should be on your screen right now. You can scan the QR code or join the official Fireball Talks NASCAR Discord server by clicking the link below. We'd love to have you join the FTN community. The IORA Cup Series is actively registering drivers, so if you want to join the racing here, by all means, we'd love to have you stop by. Mason Moriarty in the chat room, we thank you for stopping by here as you look forward to the action. Mason Moriarty running, of course, this entire league and giving us great racing season after season. We thank him for giving us the opportunity to return once again. And tonight, if you want to join as an IORA Cup Series driver, by all means, we'd love to have you. Check out our Discord on the QR code on your screen or by clicking the link below as we're set to go racing once again. Restart number 2. This is Jacob Wilkerson's time as the control car, and it's Henry Kaloff in second, Braxton Whitaker in third, Michael Deitch in fourth, and fifth is Charlie Birch sitting right beside James Thurston. iRacing official pace car is going to get set to go once again, drops down a pit road, and we will be going green at lap 18. Wilkerson on the bottom. It looks like he's no match right now for Henry Kaloff. They're neck and neck. Green flags out, and we're back on the way. Very early, you're going to see that bottom groove come into play. It's going to be Jacob Wilkerson leading over Henry Kaloff right now. First and second as the inside line has the edge. Braxton Whitaker there going to be right up top, and he'll be side by side right now with your current race leader. They're going to be 2 by 2 majority of the field. Big wiggle up top there, and keep in mind Michael Deitch racing on controller tonight, so he cannot afford to wiggle as he goes up and down the track. Any contact would be lethal there for the number 17. And you're seeing how close he is there with Charlie Birch up top. There goes Gavin Austin, and now it's going to be 3 wide once again, already taking it 3 at the front of the field. Derek Hammer going to be in the chat room. Thank you for stopping by. Great to have you here. And it's going to be now Aaron Schugel right down to the bottom, and you'll see there River Page, Corey Lyles, Michael Deitch going to be on the apron. Luckily keeps it together, and it's a game of inches already. Close quarters all throughout the field. Working down the backstretch once again. Kaloff does not like the environment. He'll drop down low. He'll let the field go by. He doesn't want any part of this trouble, and so be it. Now the outside groove, really the strongest of them all. Braxton Whitaker cannot jump up high, so instead he'll remain down low. Middle, it's going to be Gavin Austin going, and he's going to try to block Charlie Birch, but Charlie has none of it and will take the lead at the line. The rookie now going to be to the top of the board, and just like that, it's going to be another driver making moves. It's now going to be the number 20, a rookie, to the top of the board. River Page is going to be in third, and River's now the highest spot he's been all night long. He did not start in the back of the field based on qualifying times. However, he missed the grid and started in the rear with Daniel Mosteller. So as such, he sacrificed his starting position and decided to start at the tail end to avoid the first caution. That he did, and now he's up here at the front of the field alongside many of our quickest drivers. Corey Lyles, your Season 3 Daytona winner, now going to be up there as well. You can take a look and see the number 56 working the bottom side. He'll be neck and neck with Austin, and at the line, it looks like Corey Lyles has a slight advantage. That was a difference of 3/1000ths of a second at the stripe. And already the difference between every driver, very, very minimal, and it's going to be game of chess each and every lap. To find out how you can position yourself correctly as it stands, it looks like it's going to be all about that communication, but it looks like it's lost there between Gavin Austin and Corey Lyles. They'll knock each other once again, and they're 3 abreast once more. That's the trouble about SuperSpeedway Racing here with a lot of new drivers in the field. Gavin Austin, among others, not acclimated to the IORA environment, and as such, when when you beat and bang with other drivers like that, it's very risky because you don't know them. So there's not a lot of trust established between these two groups of drivers, the veterans and the rookies. Wilkerson, while not a full-time driver ever in his IORA career, already has a victory under his belt at a superspeedway, no less. So he's known as a trusted entity with these drivers, and as such, I don't think you're going to see drivers try to mess with him as the race goes on. He's got that track position, and he's an established driver. It's a great place to be right now for Wilkerson, but as you look back, a lot of new drivers now inside of the top 5. Matter of fact, rookies in Gavin Austin, Charlie Birch, Landon Gentry, Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez, all drivers looking to make their first full-time season, and so is Tobias Matheson and Josh Berry's intent. So from 2nd to 7th, you've got drivers that have never given it a full-time campaign. Gavin Austin is going to be still with them, but the number 44 drops down and low. That's Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez. He'll drop down to the bottom side, and he'll fall in line with the second group of drivers here as the pack thins outside of the top 10. Your double file leading the way even still. You see Jacob Wilkerson down on the bottom there. The number 43's got the race lead, and as they're neck and neck here, you see Tobias Matheson go up to the third side, and the question is, what can Matheson do right up top? It looks like nothing as multiple drivers going to the grass. Balderas ends up in frame, and it's Charlie Birch who ends up spinning backwards, but no contact. Charlie Birch is going to be all over the place, gets away with it, and I think if he can get out of the grass and keep on driving. Take a look at this once again. Charlie Birch, the man involved, and it looks like he's going to get himself involved with some big trouble. Take a look one more time as he's pushing Jacob Wilkerson. Charlie Birch right there behind the number 43, trying to make the move. He, I think, might have blown a motor a money shift. You see how he comes off of Wilkerson so quickly? That's some big trouble. So I think he lost the engine, and just like that, he went around. Yellow flag not going to fly because the Birch exited swiftly, and that contact is going to bring him to pit road. Just like that, the field gets away with it, and even though Charlie Birch's night is all but done, the rest of the field is going to keep on going here. Tobias Matheson jumps up to the third groove, and Jacob Wilkerson leads the way. Quarter distance in so far. Looks like a few drivers finding some big troubles. Devins Baker, Charlie Birch going to be on pit road right now, and it looks like, yep, it's an engine failure there for Birch, and that's going to be the end of his race in that number 20. Unfortunate circumstance, and it looks like we'll keep on going. Gavin Austin, he's going to be the man who leads the way right up top. Landon Gentry going to be up in the second position on the high side, and it's a game of lanes right now. You see that big bobble from Gentry. You really don't want to see that from drivers at the front of the field. You gotta find that consistent rhythm, because when you bobble back and forth, as we saw before with Balderas twice over, you can get involved with another driver, you can cause a caution, and you're gonna lose that trust very early, which is not at all a good thing here. You want to keep building that trust as the race goes on and save it for the final 10-15 laps when push comes to shove. Now 26 laps in out of 100, they're running well 3 wide, but Landon Gentry knocks into Matheson, and there we go. Matheson down low. It looks like another driver gets a piece of it, but we keep going once again. Balderas is going to lose a lot of time, and Daniel Mosteller barely gets through as well. Aaron Schugel is going to lose the draft, and that's exactly what we mentioned when it came down to it. You can't be bobbling back and forth in that manner, and Landon Gentry going to give way to some troubles here. Just like that, we're taking an instant replay and finding out what happened. Here you go once again. Gentry going to get a tap from Thurston. It's going to wiggle him once, twice. Matheson gets into Schugel, gets going once again, and while every driver saves it, it's bad news there for Aaron Schugel as he loses a lot of time and loses the draft as well. It looked like Gentry was unsteady for several laps in a row, and that was the kicker. Bad news there for the man in the number 33. Landon Gentry now going to find himself in 9th. However, definitely does not have as much control as a lot of these other drivers in the pack here. So they go single file as a result. Looks like not a lot of aggressive racing from Page on back. River, of course, in the best spot to be. He's got the race lead. But every other driver right now, they're staying in line, and they're waiting for things to get a bit more risky in the second half of this race. Trying to make those calculated moves early as the drivers get in formation it's going to be River Page, Corey Lyles, and Gavin Austin. The 1-2-3 combo at the head of the field. And so far, maintaining rhythm as the bottom side begins to form. You'll see Daniel Mosteller and Braxton Whitaker involved with Balderas again, and that's going to bring out the caution. And just like that, yellow flag is out. Braxton Whitaker, Alexander Balderas, caution is out for the third time this season. Well, let's find out what happened as another wreck here at Daytona. Looks like Whitaker came off the high side. And looking at the instant replay, you'll see Whitaker right up top, Landon Gentry there with them, and they stack up with Josh Berry. That's going to hook Whitaker down into Balderas. Also catches Jackson Carr, and the caution is out. 29 laps in out of 100, and we got ourselves another incident here. Number 51 machine of Whitaker, among others, involved, and the caution flies yet again. We'll see how big that damage is for Carr or for Balderas. Don't know if it's going to be a major deal for the number 95, but definitely going to pound in the front end, and he's going to try to get around the pace car here and get his lap back. So troubles early for the number 95 team, once again involved with a third straight caution. And Will Shack right there. We also saw Jackson Carr get a piece, and I think of all drivers involved with that yellow, Jackson Carr definitely going to be in a bit more trouble than others. As you see him there in the number 83, making his way around. He gets back with the pack, but definitely going to be some pounding in on the front end. So caution out once again. River Page is your leader, 29 laps in out of 100, and it's going to be Corey Lyles then in second, Gavin Austin in third, Beaver Serrano is in fourth, and James Thurston is in fifth. You'll see Wilkerson there in the sixth spot, Landon Gentry is in seventh, and Josh Berry is in eighth. Braxton Whitaker's ninth, and it's Jackson Carr rounding out the top 10. The move down to pit road is swift, and just about everyone goes in at the same time. Once again, big pit cycle here, about a third of the way through. They'll be clear to go till lap number 70 on this pit stop. Page touches the grass just a bit in his entry, but he's good to go as drivers sail into their pit stalls. Let's find out who wins off the pit road here as everyone makes it in together. You'll see Xander McKinney there, but at the line, it looks like moving quickest, it's going to be River Page. He's still beaten by Thurston, so it's James Thurston, River Page, Corey Lyles, Jacob Wilkerson, Gavin Austin, and then Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez, with seventh being Landon Gentry, eighth being Nathan Palawada. He's going to be beaten out by Beaver Serrano, so Serrano takes eighth, Palawada takes ninth, and Xander McKinney rounds out the top 10. That's the way they run, 30 laps in out of 100. And just like that, 100 laps of racing, we're just about a third of the way through, and we'll return to green at lap 32. James Thurston takes the lead once again. Looking down on pit road, Balderas is going to come down once more, so he's got a bit more damage to repair, so keep that in mind as it looks like that front end contact. No break for 95 tonight, as it's his third caution that he's involved in, and he'll make his way through once more. Devins Baker is about 4 laps down right now. He gets back on the track though, looking to unlap himself. Charlie Birch is your only retiree so far, and it looks like that number 20 machine going to be out of the race permanently as a result of substantial damage. The motor blew and he flew out of the pack, and that was his night. James Thurston, though, has the race lead, and he's looking forward from here as the early stage of this race nearly out of the way. Now to get to the middle of everything and find out, do we see the longer strategy play out? Does the action continue to be a little more involved with the drivers? Is it going to stay a little more frequent with the cautions? A lot of questions for these drivers, and right now, nobody really has the answers. So remains to be seen here for Thurston and company as the top 3 lineup once again. Thurston with a choice to go high or go low, and his call at the start-finish line looks to be going high. He'll take Page there with him and Corey Lyles. Jacob Wilkerson drops down low, gaining big time, so he'll take some spots, and as such, big gain for Wilkerson, Landon Gentry too, and it looks like also Gavin Austin up top, whereas Beaver Serrano and Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez are neck and neck. Xander McKinney down to the bottom side, Josh Berry right up top. And now it looks like 21 drivers with the pack here. Baker gets back with them. Alexander Balderas is on pit road once again, so he's getting additional damage repair. And it looks like Jackson Carr is too. Jackson makes it through. James Thurston leads the way, and we're set to get back to the racing at lap 32 here as drivers come across the Daytona Super Stretch. Thurston and Wilkerson, currently your leaders, up in front once more. Wilkerson, who started in second, he's going to gain big base on the choose rule, and that's the big advantage for all these drivers. If you have someone you want to work with, you can line up behind them if you so choose. But if you got nobody around you and you just want the track position, you can still go for it and gain big time in terms of position. So for Wilkerson, he started the previous lap in fourth, and he's going to jump up into second as a result of the choose rule procedure. Landon Gentry is going to gain big from seventh up to fourth here, but the biggest mover has to be Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez. That time by, he was scored in 6th, and he started in 18th. So keep that in mind here. We got a lot of drivers jumping up and down the board, and I think that's going to be a continued trend as the race progresses. However, now it's time for the iRacing official pace car to let go and have the field return to full speed. Thurston is your control car up top, Wilkerson right down low, and the green flag is going to fly all over again with the 96 leading the way. Pace car makes the drop through to pit road, and we're timed once more to get back through the Geico restart zone. Green flag's out for restart number 3, and Thurston with a clearly better start. Landon Gentry going to be alone on the bottom side. Nobody there working with him save for Beaver Serrano. Outside is king, at least for now. So James Thurston going to have a lot of help up top. He's got River Page right there and Jacob Wilkerson. So he's got a majority of the field working up top. Nobody trying to go 2x2 right now, save for Gentry, Serrano, and maybe Daniel Mosteller can catch up. But right now, the high side is supreme, and the leaders know exactly where they'd like to be. They're staying there as they come across the line once again. Alexander Balderas is on pit road, so it looks like he's either got a hold or he's staying there voluntarily. His night has not gone well at all, and he's been involved so far in all 3 cautions. Definitely not the feat you'd like to achieve as the season gets going. 2x2 yet again. Landon Gentry takes the race lead and now has himself up to the top of the board on the bottom. Just as we said, the outside had full control. It looks like it's been taken away, and once more the 33 getting that track position. However, he's been one of the more unstable drivers lap in, lap out. That's one thing to keep an eye out for. How well can Landon take a push here? Because as important as it is to push, it's even more important to receive the push as well and not go around sliding. We saw it in our first caution. Balderas getting hit by James Thurston, who took an odd push by Gavin Austin, and that's what sent Balderas around the immediate hit afterward. So you want to receive the pushes as well as you can give them. And right now for Landon Gentry, he's holding up well. Beaver Serrano pushing nicely. Gavin Austin up to the top side to take control up high. So we got another driver trying to make that second groove work, and it's now the low side with control, but they're going to all equal out once again as Austin gets that big draft and a nice push from James Thurston. All of a sudden, Austin to the race lead, but not clear to go down low. So he'll remain right up on the top groove and trying to keep himself there at the stripe yet again. Gavin Austin gonna have the race lead. Gentry keeps it honest though, and they're side by side once more. Wide they're going to go as it looks like another group going to establish themselves, but not a lot of room right now for River Page and company who want to take it 3 wide. He looks once, looks twice, and in all honesty, all that does is slow down that second groove that's already being put together. So I don't quite know what the intention is there for River Page. Doesn't look like he can get anything done out of it for now, so he'll once again sit in line and stay right there with the leaders of his groove. You'll see James Thurston, he looks a bit high once again, and I think he wants to take take River Page there with him around Gavin Austin, because Austin has not gone down low and appears to be pretty comfortable up top. So he likes where he is, but I don't think the field behind him would want him to stay as the leader right now. Thurston definitely knows he has drivers who would work with him, but Austin almost a bit of a stopgap right now, and you can't really get through the driver who's in front of you here if they're defending well enough. And Austin has a lot of room as it's Landon Gentry right up top. So Landon goes high, and it's now Beaver Serrano taking the race lead right on the bottom. Serrano with a push from Daniel Mosteller, going to get to the point. Take a look on board right now with Daniel Mosteller, and you'll see how close he is to, of course, the back bumper here. They are making physical contact tonight, and with that flat back bumper, it's much easier to give a push and receive a push at the same time. So Demos now going to go right up top and look for the race lead himself, and it looks like he's got it. Serrano down low, nowhere to be seen, and just like that, Daniel Mosteller to the point and clear at Daytona. Mosteller, though, going to see Landon Gentry go right up high, and all of a sudden, he goes down low once again. Once he gets the lead, it immediately gets taken back from him, and it's going to be that toss and turn nature of SuperSpeedway Racing that continues to put different drivers up in the limelight. Immediately, Landon Gentry takes the lead. Devins Baker disconnects. It looks like his night is over. By all means, it looks like Beaver Serrano gets very close to wiggling. Luckily, he saves it there as he goes down to the apron. A few drivers have touched the apron so far tonight, but as long as you can save it from there, it's not that big a deal. So Serrano gonna drop back a bit, get some help from of course, Aaron Schugel, and return to the line he's pushing. One driver jumps right up high. That looked to be the number 39 machine. However, as you look further back, it's also Henry Kaloff, worked with Nathan Palawada, and in addition, Jackson Carr. Top 10 is very close, and they've been double file pushing aggressively for the majority of this race. But when you look outside that top 10, it's nowhere near as aggressive. Right now, you see the pack coming down the super stretch, but drivers such as Shaq, Palawada, Kaloff, and Michael Deitch are all lying back right now and hoping for a few more cautions to occur. They're looking just to stay in the draft and make sure that if push comes to shove, they can drive right through an incident and not get caught up in it. So it's a big deal right now for them to stay in the back while the leaders race each other the hardest of anyone in the field. And at the line, once again, it's going to be Landon Gentry leading over Daniel Mosteller. Demos, he's pretty close there on the bottom side to clearing, but just hasn't gotten the room yet here as the third groove is established. Once again, River Page is going to take Jacob Wilkerson right up top, and they're going to once again try to make something work, but just can't find the groove there with a lot of help. That's the big problem here for drivers trying to make that third line happen. Not a lot of these other racers are really looking to go that risky right now, especially after the first three cautions. Trying to settle in and, of course, get back to business here, knowing how much time there is on the table. Why give away your chance to win in 20 to 30 laps when you can try to wait for the first 75 or 80? For some drivers, that's the mindset. For others, not so much. Every driver here, I think, has a different way of going about it, and you'll see your leaders right now who are a bit more aggressive in nature. They want to lead those laps. They want to be up front in terms of position, no matter what happens. But I think as the night progresses, you'll see more drivers adopting that mentality. But right now, we know exactly who wants to be up here and who doesn't. As you see the drivers coming across this time by, it's going to be a bit of a wiggle. James Thurston drops right down low, and he'll try to take the race lead, and that he will. Thurston now going to be pushed by Daniel Mosteller. There's Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez right there on the bottom side. He'll stay right there down low. He will not interfere with the leaders, and as such, Thurston makes it around a lapper easily. The only other lap driver in the field right now, Alexander Balderas, who is coming out of the front straightaway, and he's only about a second or two away from being caught up by the field, who's now chasing him down the first two turns. So could be risky here for Balderas as he loses a lot more time. The leaders are coming and should be with him the next lap or so. Balderas is going to be coming down the super stretch, and so is Mosteller and company. And you see three wide once again, so there's really nowhere you can go if you're Balderas besides the apron, and he might choose to do so if he needs to, but it doesn't look like he's back down just yet. Thurston with about a car length lead from the field. Aaron Schugel down low, side by side with Demos. But still, nothing just yet. As you see, Demos is going to be blocked. So is Schugel. Thurston now trying to control all 3 lanes. And the lap machine is coming closer and closer. Balderas is going to drop down and in. He'll let the leaders go right by. And no trouble for the number 95 as he looks to merge in swiftly. That he does. And he's going to come up on Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez. Maybe these 2 drivers will work together. Diaz gets on the way. Balderas does too. Now it's going to be a quest for the number 44 to get back there with Balderas. It's really the only hope he has to sticking with the draft, although unlikely. So now with the lappers out the way, it's going to get back to the full focus on the lead battle, and it's Daniel Mosteller now who has that control. As it stands, it's Demos, Jacob Wilkerson, and Demos gets turned right down to the apron. He saves it, locks it down, but the caution will fly. Mosteller is still drifting through turn 1 and goes 360. He'll spin it around. By all accounts, I think he'll be fine. Deitch and Kaloff get involved in another incident, but Daniel Mosteller goes for a wild ride and goes for about half a mile sliding out of the racing territory. Take a look back one more time. It looked like River Page and Daniel Mosteller kicked this one off, and then Demos went for a huge drift, tapped by Jacob Wilkerson, and then he goes spinning, goes right down to the apron and locks it down. Keeps sliding, goes into the grass, bobbles, and spins, and then the second incident occurs here, which looks to be completely unrelated. Now we're going to try to find out what this was about, because it looks like another group of drivers involved with the wreck at the same time. So while Mosteller was going at it and saved it fantastically, doing a job of keeping himself out of trouble, Kaloff was up here. He got tagged by Whitaker. Xander McKinney gets a piece, and so does Michael Deitch. So 2 wrecks. The caution flew because of Daniel Mosteller, and then a second caution occurred immediately thereafter. 2 incidents, 1 caution, and that is our 4th of the day. Yellow flag is out, and we are once again pacing here, 44 laps in at a 100. It is your 4th caution of the day, and we once again return, waiting maybe to see another set of drivers go down a pit road. We'll see whether or not that is the case, though. Doesn't seem to be a guarantee, but Wilkerson and company have the opportunity. That was a 14-lap stint, longest of the race so far, so we are seeing slowly but surely that long-term racing come into play. Maybe we're going to see a bit more as the race goes on here, but early going, we've seen about a 10-lap stint, then a caution. A 10-lap stint, then a caution once again. So I would hope we get a little more green flag racing through, but right now, doesn't seem to be indicative of anything. Caution out once again. And the call for Jacob Wilkerson, he will come down to pit road once more. Big on to pit road once again, 4th time through, and just about every driver's made it in for every pit stop. Once again, cycle is a big deal here, so you want to get yourself ready for the end of the race. Now these drivers will be good to go till about lap 85 if they were to stay green. So this is a huge pit stop for every driver here. We're about 20 laps away from guaranteeing they'll be good to go for the rest of the race. Wilkerson wins off a pit road once again, and he will lead over Gavin Austin, James Thurston, Corey Lyles, Nathan Palawada, Beaver Serrano, and then from there you're going to see Tobias Matheson gets through, Landon Gentry's 8th, River Page is 9th. And it's going to be Nathan Palawada now scores the final man inside the top 10 as drivers exit from pit road. Back on the way, 45 laps in, and we're just about halfway through this event. Set to go back green at lap 47. Tell you this much, we'd like to extend a special offer from our friends at iRacing Motorsport Simulations, and I'm sure if you are a sim racing fan, you'd love to join this platform, the highest quality online simulation racing on the market for over 15 years. iRacing Motorsport Simulations currently has sales of over 40% off. If you want a new membership, you gotta go there. iRacing.com, check it out after tonight's broadcast, and we'd love to have you join the iRacing fun and scan the QR code for the official eNASCAR newsletter for all news and storylines regarding simulation racing in the stock car realm. We'd love to have you join the iRacing family, and we will be right back after a brief message from our friends at iRacing Motorsport Simulations.
Racing isn't easy. but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Half a lap away from getting the green flag here. For those of you tuning in for the first time tonight, you're watching the IORA 250, the season opener of Season 5 in the IORA Cup Series. And so far, there's been no shortage of high-octane action, but we're only about halfway in. I think the best is definitely yet to come as drivers get back onto their routes. You can see a few are coming off of pit road. Alexander Balderas is barreling in. He's only one lap down now. That was the first caution that he was not involved in this season. He was involved in the first three, and luckily avoided this one, so not going to be causing or being part of the trouble that time by. Still one lap down though, and a far cry from his starting position of 5th. Definitely room to improve, but it's a stepping stone from here. Only one lap down, and so is Josh Berry and Braxton Whitaker. 20 drivers remain on the track with Gavin Austin and Jacob Wilkerson your front row. It's going to be Wilkerson, the control car, and he opts to go down to the bottom side. As you can see, Aaron Schugel pulls up into the field. Just about everyone is set to go once again. And this will be restart number 4. Wilkerson going to be dropping, of course, through the gears. He's going to get it full throttle as we go through 3 and 4. Looks like the pace car is going to come down and in. Jacob Wilkerson set to bring us back to the green flag. He'll get to jump over Gavin Austin, and we're back on the move with our 4th restart of the day. An immediate jump up high for Wilkerson, giving Serrano the bottom groove. And it looks like the inside line not formed up well to start, but there's definitely enough drivers to make it work. Beaver Serrano's got control, and the question is, will anyone in the bottom groove stay there, or will they bail? It's going to be all about whether or not it's going to be either Corey Lyles, James Thurston, Gavin Austin, Jacob Wilkerson dropping down low. Will Serrano get the chance to develop this line for himself? We haven't seen much of Beaver leading in this league before. However, he's led at least a lap tonight, and he knows what it takes to be up front. So far, has not been involved in any of the incidents, so he's kept himself clean and has held a steady wheel. So it's a big chance for him right now, but so far, he and Will Shack not getting as much as they need done. Shack's going to be down to the bottom side, and so is Landon Gentry here with Jacob Wilkerson holding fort right up top. It's going to be once again Gavin Austin and James Thurston, 2nd and 3rd. They'll go down to the bottom side together here. Austin's going to lead, Thurston in, and they're going to take their respective spots and pass right by Jacob Wilkerson. So Wilkerson is going to move back into 3rd. Now has to fight to stay in the podium, as there you have it. Beaver Serrano drops back a spot, and he's going to be able to make it up immediately. He was going 4th, down a bit further, and he immediately jumps up by passing Corey Lyles and Jacob Wilkerson. So now Serrano in the podium as Thurston blocks high, and Gavin Austin does as well, but doesn't get it completely clear and has to go right back to the bottom again, trying to control both lanes. It has its consequences, and you'll see he gets a bit slower as a result and has to give way to Beaver Serrano. Now it's going to be Beaver with a great run coming down the back straightaway, and he's got a chance to maybe take the lead for his own. Coming through, he's got Landon Gentry pushing, and he's also got Will Shack. Now the middle lane is coming together, and Corey Lyles, while he looks to be alone, is definitely trying to pull Thurston down, and that he did. Now Wilkerson giving the high side. He's got nobody there with him. except for Daniel Mosteller. Third groove going to be fading back just a bit. At the line, it's going to be Beaver Serrano just barely leading that lap, and now a 66 having control of his own. 3 different lines and 3 different line leaders. James Thurston pushed there by Jacob Wilkerson, and they'll be first and second right up on the top. Mosteller's going to opt to go up high as well, and you'll see River Page right there too, and it's going to be a huge shuffle from all the drivers as it's 3 wide, 2 rows deep, and these guys are all as close as they've been all night long, perhaps the closest yet as Thurston tries to break away. We're going to find out who will lead at the halfway marker here. It looks like Thurston's got a fair shot to do so. He's got the race lead right now. Serrano coming down to the bottom side, and it looks like it'll be neck and neck between these two to finish lap 50 at the top of the board. Thurston goes high yet again, and at the line, he will lead the halfway point. 50 laps to go from this point onward. So Thurston's now got the lead, and he's controlling all 3 lanes very well so far. He'll go down to the middle side and keep things going. It looks like he's got everyone working right behind him, all pretty well organized, and that's a skill in itself. At the moment, it's going to be 3 grooves that he has to go up and down and up and down, and that's a huge challenge because it's all about sharing the momentum for these drivers. I think that's the biggest deal that Thurston has to worry about. As much momentum as he gives to one groove, he's giving less to the others, and it's going to slow them down. So the biggest goal for Thurston right now is keep them all equally balanced and try to keep himself in front of all of them at the same time. However, that's a huge risk, and right now Corey Lyles looks to get just enough of that draft to take the lead for his own on the middle side, and he'll stay there as Beaver Serrano's inside groove slowly but surely begins to fall off. Corey Lyles is going to see River Page go right down under him, and it's now going to be that number 24 of Page trying to make something work. Down to the bottom side, there goes River Page looking for the race lead, and now he's got it. Bobbles just a bit, but won't give in, and he's got Corey Lyles still right there to his outside, but it's going to be a draw, at least for now. Going through the super stretch, they're neck and neck. Furthermore, you're going to see Corey Lyles with Daniel Mosteller and Aaron Schugel now right there in 6th. Thurston taps the wall on his own doing, nobody where he was, and it looks like he'll get away from it and get away with it at the same time. Minor damage though for that number 4, so keep that in mind as it looks like he's got a little bit of trouble to sort out as the race progresses. Alexander Balderas is now getting in the mix with your leaders. He's currently scored in 18th, but he's running right around Jackson Carr, who's running in 10th, so he's up there in the top 10 battle, hoping to give it what he's got to avoid a wreck and maybe join the lead lap as quickly as he can. Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez is there in the number 44, and he's going to go 3 wide with Tobias Matheson. Tobias there, middle of 3 in the all-white 07. And it looks like he's got himself in a very, very precarious position. He's got just about the entirety of the field around him, and that's the trouble as they are going to go spinning. Looks like it's going to be Will Shack and Aaron Schugel, not to mention Landon Gentry, and the yellow flag's out again. Gavin Austin turns up to the track and destroys Thurston, and another set of drivers caught in it. And how about that? A second wreck, and it's a chain reaction. Caution is out, and the yellow flag flies. Gavin Austin going to bring it back for the second wreck. It looks like Matheson, Shack, among others, involved in the first. Take a look at this. You see Schugel caught up with Shack, and then they turn down. Matheson's there. Gavin Austin actually avoids the first wreck and hooks up to the top of the track and takes 2 more drivers out, completely destroying them. How about that for James Thurston? And you saw there, it looks like Xander McKinney getting a piece of it. Braxton Whitaker right there too. Thurston is destroyed. Landon Gentry also getting a huge piece. And Austin immediately going to be penalized for that one. Wow. Take a look on board from James Thurston's perspective. He did not see that one coming, and it still poured right down on him. Thurston plowed and destroyed. Jackson Carr destroyed as well. That ends his night. He disconnects immediately thereafter. And the yellow flag is out. And I'm sure we got some unhappy drivers as a result. Balderas shoots by the lap machines. Thurston's going to run past Gavin Austin. Austin being helped to pit road. And I'm sure Thurston, he's hoping he makes it there on his own power here. You can see the motor is blowing. Huge trouble here. And 54 laps in, pit road is busy once again. Another about 10 lap stint, which gives way to a caution. That's been the cycle all race long. And we're once again down a pit road looking at another big strategy call as drivers make their way in 55 laps in out of 100. You'll see Corey Lyles gets back on the way and looks to be the man who is winning out of pit road. But Jacob Wilkerson beats him by a car length. It's Wilkerson, Lyles, Serrano, Nathan Palawada, and Alexander Balderas, as it looks like now Balderas is back with the lead lappers as a result of that caution. He's going to be now just outside of the top 5, actually made his way in, and exit pit road in 5th. Some big troubles with that last caution. Otherwise, though, Jacob Wilkerson, he is your race leader and now holds control as we are set to go back to the green at lap 57. Wilkerson's the man on top, and we'll see if we can get a word with him right now. It looks like we can, and we're going to try to talk to your current race leader. That's Jacob Wilkerson in the number 43. So let's get a call in with a number 43 who leads the way right now. Jacob Wilkerson back in the IORA Cup Series, and last time he won, it was at Talladega. Jacob Wilkerson, you're with us here in the broadcast booth, and you currently find yourself leading a pretty treacherous race. We've seen quite a lot of chaos so far, but being up front, you've avoided most of it. So how's it been out there on the track?
It's all just been about getting somebody to go with and having someone to go with you. And I feel like this race would be going by a lot faster if it wasn't for all these yellows. But yeah.
And you're right, we're under pacing once again, the 5th time. Every run we've had so far has been about 10 laps on the dot, so we haven't seen the green flag strategy come in just yet. But if we were to see a longer strategy, you think you got the car to maybe go the distance?
Oh yeah, absolutely. As of now, I'm only 3 laps short on gas, so this could either be our final pit stop of the night if we save fuel under this caution, or if we get another yellow, we could save fuel and make it to the end.
So a chance to already go all the way, that's a big deal when it comes to fuel. But tell you this much, we're coming back 1 to go this time by. So anyone else you'd like to thank or any final thoughts before we get racing?
Shout out to the people watching back at home. Should be a fun race, and hopefully we could put this STP Chevrolet in victory lane tonight.
Looking for victory once again, Jacob Wilkerson, winner at Talladega last season, up in front right now. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And we're going to move Jacob Wilkerson back into his broadcast booth there, just getting a quick word with your current race leader as we get back at it this time by. He's got his teammate for PBR, Beaver Serrano, running right behind him. And the green flag will drop this time through to get us to lap number 57. Tell you this much, though, we're getting pretty close to the final stage of this race, but we've seen 5 cautions so far. So about a caution every 10 laps, give or take. We're hoping to see, of course, a longer run right now to maybe get us back into the swing of things for the final time. As Wilkerson mentioned, for many drivers, we have a 1-lap strategy, or rather 1 pit stop strategy that could go down to a lap or less if drivers save fuel. Wilkerson right now says he's only 3 laps under, and that's a big deal because if there's another caution, maybe he has the chance to save fuel as opposed to going down a pit road. Michael Deitch is having trouble. I think his controller just dislodged, and you saw him there fade back big. I'm not quite sure what that was, but it looks like he just hung it and lost control. Now, that's the symptom of the disconnection of the USB controller for an Xbox controller or anything of the sort. So he looks like he just disconnected his steering device and immediately hung up the track. Luckily, not in an extreme degree, and he'll get back with the field here as we are set to go green once again. Jacob Wilkerson grabs the restart, and he'll take it in full control. Back on the way with our 5th restart of the night, and he jumps up high immediately. Wilkerson now going to have that race lead, and you can see a few drivers we have not seen the appearance of for quite some time. Alexander Balderas has now made his move up into third, and it's the highest spot he's been in ever since the first 15 laps of this race. Now he'll have some help from Landon Gentry and River Page working on that second groove here. It's the number 95 trying to keep himself within arm's reach of the lead, whereas River Page is going to be pushing Landon Gentry. One man going down to pit road looks to be Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez, and it looks to be an unscheduled stop, but he'll make it down in swiftly and get out of harm's way. As it stands, it's going to be about a 7-car bundle. Make it 8 now with the inclusion of James Thurston, but either way, big pack up in front no longer. It's a very small group up ahead, and they're looking to pull away from the field and fast. Corey Lyles is going to lose some speed and drop all the way down low, and I think the drivers here are going to use Will Shack as a bit of a hook to get back up in front. You see Aaron Schugel there. He's about 0.6 of a second away from Will Shack, and Shack is 0.2 out from Corey Lyles, who's only 1/10 of a second away from the leader. So it's a game of telephone here, trying to get connected once again, and at the line, Alexander Balderas is back on top and leads a lap, and once again he's right there. He led that lap, or rather it got taken away from him by 1/1000 of a second. They're getting close once again, and all of a sudden it's going to be very close between the high side and low. It's Jacob Wilkerson on the bottom, Alexander Balderas there up top, and you can see in the middle of it all a few more drivers beginning to get in the frame. You see Xander McKinney way back there, Tobias Matheson, James Thurston is pushing Balderas big, and it's going to be Balderas who shoots right down low, and a dramatic entry to the bottom side. That could have gone much worse, but he'll keep it together and lock it down, and luckily that did not inspire any other troubles, as Balderas is now the race leader. It's going to be some contact with River Page and Jacob Wilkerson, and the number 95 handles the push, but has a very dramatic drop down low, which is going to give him the race lead on the bottom side, and he's now got the chance to defend all the way down low. Now the big thing about this is you see drivers such as Wilkerson who begins to blink out there, and you see Landon Gentry, you see Beaver Serrano, all of these guys in the field who are working together on the bottom side. River Page and James Thurston, they're an army of 2, and that really doesn't mean all too much right now, given that Thurston is now going to be up alone, and he's going to be fading back. River Page decides to drop, and he will now let back with Will Shack. It's going to be that inside line still holding itself very well, but Jacob Wilkerson, he goes up top with Mosteller, and they want to leave Balderas behind. So they're going to keep trying. Now it's going to be Wilkerson up on the top side, giving way to a new outside groove dominance, and Alexander Balderas loses a few spots. Take a look on board right now to see exactly what he's seeing. Balderas is going to give a push and a shove here to Daniel Mosteller, trying to get a little more speed going here, but looks like no use right now. It's going to be that number 87 trying to get the push and shove from that speed, of course, and it looks like it's going to be a good enough run to get Demos in the lead. There you have it. It's now going to be the 2-time champ back up to the top, and for the first time in his career, he's opening the season with a Ford, not a Chevy. An interesting difference here for this season is Daniel Mosteller's iconic number 87. He still runs the number, but he's not running the same car at all. It's a Ford Mustang, not a Chevy Camaro, so trying some things different this season. Mosteller's got the race lead, and he runs up there at the top of the board. It's going to be Fords on the bottom side, and it looks like mostly Mustangs in control tonight, the only one of which up front, or now 2 of which up front, who do not have a Ford, are Jacob Wilkerson and Landon Gentry, who are now first and second and took it right away from Demos and company. A quick move there from the 2 blue ovals as they take the lead, and it looks like there's no giving it back. Mosteller goes right up top, and you can see him now try to work with James Thurston. Already another groove coming into play, and 62 laps in out of 100, we make it to lap 63. It's already been about an 8-lap stint, and these have been very short runs so far tonight, but right now, the lead pack a little more exclusive, and that might, of course, give way to some better racing. As the field slowly begins to decrease, we have 17 drivers on the lead lap. Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez went down for that unscheduled pit stop, but got back on the way. He currently finds himself on the move in the lead lap. However, it looks like there's a lot of troubles right now for the 44, and you can see, really going to be a challenge for him to get back up to the field at all tonight as the front end is scraped up. It looks like about 14 drivers are connected with your leaders though, and now they're coming around at the line again. Gentry the leader, and he's got Jacob Wilkerson right there alongside him. And Wilkerson going to try to drop down to the bottom once again. There he goes, making a quick move down, and he's going to take it down to the bottom side, nice and easy. And all of a sudden, it looks like it's going to become a game between Wilkerson and whoever else can try to challenge him. Jacob Wilkerson looking very good so far tonight. He started in second, currently leads the way once again, and I think that's the big deal. He's had that track position and experience. While James Thurston, your pole sitter, has been up front all night long, has not led as many laps and not able to really hold that much a stranglehold on the field, whereas Wilkerson's been up there since the beginning, and he's led so far lap after lap after lap. Even now at the stripe, he led that last lap over Daniel Mosteller, and while the outside line continues its attempts, it just has not been successful so far, and it's been very tricky for anything else to get going. In regards to momentum, nobody else seems to have it the way that number 43 does, as one driver's up on the wall. That's Will Shack, and it looks like he's going to have to drop back a bit more. Nothing more he can do there as Shack continues to fade in that number 31. So Shack drops back, and the outside line comes a little further apart. As a result, you'll see Demos and Balderas are all alone right now, and Jacob Wilkerson, he has the chance to stay up top or go down to the bottom or anything in between. He actually will keep it down to the bottom this time, and he'll stay right there, right down low. Nobody else trying to help those in the second groove. It's looking like only two cars giving it a shot, and they're dropping back slowly but surely here. Mosteller side by side with Beaver Serrano. The side draft really going to carry them down the back straightaway, and that's all they've got, as Serrano's going to be dropped down to the apron with a little bit of contact there from Balderas. Nothing major, and they all stay green. And you can see there, door to door once again, Balderas by no means going to make it easy on Jacob Wilkerson. He's had to fight lap after lap to even get a chance to remain on the lead lap. And now he's leading once again. I know that this is one of those races, season after season. It's been a continued attempt since the very beginning of IORA to win here and win with this opportunity on the table. And now, once again, he's got the speed, but it's always about finishing it off, which is something so challenging for any driver, no matter who you are. In the field, from start to finish, putting together 100 good laps at Daytona, it's tricky. And I think right now these drivers are definitely getting into the rhythm that they need to establish for the rest of this race. And that's the best part of it. Now you gotta look forward to what is next and try to play it smart. The aggression all the time can sometimes work out, but we've seen drivers already have to disconnect due to damage, and you do not want to be the next driver who has to retire it because of how much damage you accumulate. So, patience is pivotal tonight, and we need to see drivers continue to be less risky as the race goes on, especially in circumstances such as these where we're 68 laps in, we're coming close to the end, there's still a ways to go. Set yourself up for the final stretch here, because it's going to get crazy then. You don't want to lose your shot right now. Now it's going to be Gentry going down to the bottom side. He will let James Thurston go right by, and as such, it's a small pack up front, and Alexander Balderas still maintains it. Balderas is going to now have them single file after that slight bobble, and as such, he'll lead them down to the stripe once again, and it's going to be a total of 69 laps in out of 100. Nice lead maintained so far for Balderas, and it looks like nobody's had a chance to get around him in the past 5 laps. Daniel Mosteller, he runs side by side with no one at this point. The outside line is diminished. James Thurston slotted into 3rd, and River Page slotted into 6th. So by all accounts, they got away nicely, and Thurston now. He looks high, seeing Tobias Matheson. A chance to get a little more side draft, and he will go for it. Now, it's Thurston up top, looking to get right there with Alexander Balderas. He's got speed, and the run might be good enough to lead at the line. Now it's going to be that number 4, your pole sitter, looking to get back to the race lead, and there he goes again. At the stripe, it looks like it's going to be neck and neck between he and Wilkerson, and he's got it. Now it's going to be James Thurston once again back in front, and the help of that number 43 puts him back in a nice position to go and try to capture it from Balderas, but he can't drop in until very late. It's a close call, but it's good enough, and that block will put James Thurston back on top. And a moment like that is make or break, but James Thurston going to go for it, and he makes it work out quite nicely. So it's very good to see, of course, drivers getting ready and making those small moves to set themselves up as opposed to making the biggest moves possible. It's a block like that, luckily respectful. Both drivers handled it exactly as they should, and now they're going to keep on going back and forth, trading the spots perhaps, and waiting until about the lap 80-85 marker here as all drivers are settling in for the final stretch. Tobias Matheson comes in this time by. This should be his final pit stop of the day no matter what. And he will drop in, making the move down the pit road, and it looks like he's going to choose to take the faster pair and get some service one final time. James Thurston, Alexander Balderas, and Jacob Wilkerson are now the top 3 running away from the field. If you take a look, they've been able to establish about 0.7 of a second a gap. Mosteller and company backed up big, and it looks like these 3 are pulling away quicker and quicker and quicker at the line. We're going to see the big difference in their speed because this time through, it looks like James Thurston ran a 48.256. Daniel Mosteller ran a 48.564, so they gained overall 0.3, and it looks like already Mosteller's catching up, and it's like a slingshot here. Once you get pulled back, you come forward like a rocket ship, and he'll take 3 drivers right up there with them. There goes Serrano, there goes River Page, and now they're going to be 2 by 2, 3 rows deep. And Mosteller, playing it nicely, has himself up there looking for the race lead. Wilkerson goes high. Looks like River Page has a chance to actually stick it down low and help out Balderas and Thurston, both drivers he's worked with previously, so it might have been the best of both worlds for the 2 drivers who just swapped lanes 72 laps in out of 100. And now Daniel Mosteller has himself the top spot. About the best placement he's been in all throughout this run. The longest stint of the day, 73 laps in out of 100. Now, of course, we're hoping to see this race go on for about 15-25 minutes more. It could be in that range, so about 20 is the estimate. At 9:30 p.m. Eastern, we'll be moving on to our next broadcast here on FTN with the Highline Racing League Premier Series at 9:30. Stay on this broadcast page until it ends because you will be automatically redirected to the next broadcast immediately after. 140 laps from the virtual Iowa Speedway. So if you enjoyed tonight's racing with the Xfinity car, more of it is coming at you, and it's coming at you quickly after this first race ends. So we're getting very close to that next race here, and 74 laps in out of 100. Now it looks like these drivers are making pace to get to the end, about the quickest they've been all night long in doing so. Beaver Serrano is your new race leader, finding himself down to the bottom of the track and keeping Daniel Mosteller at bay. That's the big question. How long can he keep doing so? Because Demos, he is a driver who's always looking for the next opportunity. Can he find a few? That's the question here as he now lines up on the back bumper of your current race leader. So far, though, single file has been the move for the past 10-ish laps. So you gotta be really, really calculated in regards to making some aggressive encounters. Jacob Wilkerson is going to drop back and slot into line. He'll go into 4th, and it looks like losing that spot is going to be a sacrifice, but it's worth making here as he gets back into line once again. Nicely done for Wilkerson because he doesn't lose too many positions. You do not want to get freight trained right now, which is definitely possible. As it stands, these drivers are going about 180 miles an hour flat. Right now, Thurston's going exactly 175 actually, so it looks like we are seeing the fuel saving come into play, whereas a driver like like Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez, who's running on his own, is going about 164. Despite the damage, he is still slower because he's on his own. And Tobias Matheson actually looks to be running quicker laps as it stands, and we'll see whether or not that is truly the case, because we're definitely seeing a big fuel save right now, going about 175 at the start-finish line. And that time through was a 50.635. And for Tobias Matheson, his most recent lap was a 50.013. So we're definitely seeing drivers go much slower for the next 3-4 laps as they try to lock in. And Corey Lyle's not having any of it. He'll try to go full throttle, and it looks like it's going to work because you can see he takes the lead. He wants the lead right now as they go fuel saving, and he will go for it. Henry Kaloff is going to go up top. He thinks he's confident in maybe making a few spots up right now, and you can see he's coming like a jet. A lot of these other drivers are locking in for fuel safety. Kaloff, he is looking for the track position, and so is Michael Deitch. So now we see different strategies coming into play. And as someone like Serrano might be going less than 180, we're seeing a few drivers go all out. And at the line, Kaloff is up to second. He's trying his hardest to make these spots up, and he just made up one more. He's going to be second place just there with Michael Deitch. Beaver Serrano keeps it honest, though, so it's going to be 2x2 again. And we were seeing about a lap or two of diplomacy. Don't expect that much longer. So it looks like our little fuel saving arc is done and done for this race. Drivers took it back a second or two in all honesty, and now they're getting regrouped to go racing till the very end. You'll see Balderas is backed up there with River Page. These two drivers are currently running 13th and 14th as it stands. 15 drivers remain on the lead lap, but the last of which is Xander McKinney, who is no longer with the draft, and McKinney right now with a second pack, including Gavin Austin, Tobias Matheson, and Braxton Whitaker. Up in front, Corey Lyles is going to be second to Henry Kaloff, and there's 23 laps to go this time by. As always on FTN, we crank it up with the highest quality camera providers on the market, TrackCams22.com. For high quality iRacing cameras, over 100 car and track combinations, check out TrackCams22.com for the highest quality iRacing cameras for a broadcast, for photography. If you want to up your replay game, Track Cams for Gourmets is the place to go. Make sure to visit TrackCams22.com or Facebook.com/TrackCams after this race. And we're going to crank it up now with 22 laps to go, courtesy of the best cameras on iRacing, TrackCams22.com. Michael Deitch has the lead now with a total of 18 laps to go. As you might have noticed, we're once again back big time with the fuel saving. Guys like Henry Kaloff right now are clutching, not even using the motor at times, whereas Michael Deitch is really stretching his lead right now. I think he's very confident about what he's got compared to the rest of the field. Work with Nathan Palawada up in the front, and you can see that number 78 working down the back straightaway here. Looks like no trouble so far in keeping up with Deitch, and he'll actually try to go right around the outside. Landon Gentry is going to maintain himself in about the third position here, and Josh Berry up to fourth for the first time tonight. 83 laps in out of 100, and we're coming here into what is the home stretch in the IORA 250, and this is our longest stint by a long shot, that is. 29 laps on Michael Deitch's tire set. He's had them on longer than almost anyone else, but either way, 29 laps in this stint is clearly the most amount of green flag racing we'll get in succession, and goes to show right now when the going gets more important, when the going gets rough, shall we say, for some drivers, these drivers are set to lock in and get themselves prepared for the final stretch. The race win will be on the line momentarily, but right now these two are trading it back and forth. Not like it's the last lap, it's almost like they're doing drafting practice here. Nathan Palawada and Michael Deitch, they're trading the lead. You see them go first and second, and vice versa here. Aaron Schugel going to be up on the top. Looks like tonight not going as successful as the Daytona Clash did, and unfortunately not going to work out his way as he stays up to the high side here and tries to keep on going. It's still going to be a risky scenario though, as he's going to try to get back in the draft perhaps. The front end is still good, the back end is entirely gone, and for Aaron Schugel, he has used his fast repair, so that's all he's got for the rest of the race, no matter what. Nathan Palawada in the number 78 leads the way right now, and you see Michael Deitch in second, Landon Gentry in third, and Josh Berry there in fourth. How about a driver we really have not mentioned all throughout this run, and it's going to be Will Shack, who's up in his sixth right now. He's side by side with Aaron Schugel, and even though Shack's had a quiet night and made it onto the track later than anyone else, he finds himself currently just outside the top 5 and having a very solid performance. As a veteran of this league since season 3, Will Shack has definitely been a driver season by season that continues to grow, and I think that's showing once again tonight as he's now in the thick of the pack with 15 laps remaining. The final moments of this race are coming very close to where we are now, and Shack is here looking to be in the scene until it's all said and done. So right now, patience, it is pivotal, and you'll see James Thurston jumps up to the race lead. He now takes control of the organized chaos we have up in front, and your pole sitter is once again back on top. Nathan Palawada runs in a runner-up spot, and Jacob Wilkerson's in third. Michael Deitch now going to be up top trying to make something happen, and you can see, although he's alone, he's about the same speed as our third place driver in Jacob Wilkerson. Maybe there's something he can get off the high side here, but really nobody else to work with for that number 17 to Deitch, who stays up there alone and goes at the line yet again. James Thurston, 87 laps in, has the lead and holds on, protecting what he's got with 14 laps remaining. Look at the back end of this field, and you'll see from James Thurston's perspective how close these drivers are to him. They're actually not too close right now, but you'll see when Nathan Palawada gets into the draft and gets right to the spoiler how it can feel for the driver. Michael Deitch has maintained second, but Nathan Palawada right now, I think he's definitely laying off. Take a look on board once again, this time from the perspective of the number 78, and you'll see how much less of that power that he's using. More specifically, you'll hear it as we go on board. And here comes the onslaught. Daniel Mosteller, Alexander Balderas, and River Page go 1, 2, 3. And it's now becoming a game of who gets up there the latest. We're starting to see a new strategy come into play right now. Waiting around, getting the best people to work with, and going. The communication is a big deal, and it looks like these three worked very well to get up there quickly, and a rapid jump up as Daniel Mosteller takes the lead. Michael Deitch has been the lone rider who's been fighting everyone off, and I don't know what's got him that confident. He might be really good to go on fuel because it looks like nobody else is fighting the way he is up top. However, Daniel Mosteller, Balderas and company definitely planned that one out, and it's going to help them big in regards to getting up there quickly. It's going to be Daniel Mosteller now leading them across the stripe again. And he's got it with 12 laps to go. Looking further back, you'll see 3 wide just a moment. It's going to be between Josh Berry, Michael Deitch, and James Thurston. It looks like Deitch is going to have to fall back a bit. Although he was so aggressive for several laps, he's going to actually drop back more and let these drivers get to work on their own accord as opposed to involving himself in the chaos. Daniel Mosteller leads the way. Will Shack is going to be right there with them side by side as you see Josh Berry right up top. And as they go 2 by 2 all over again, it's going to be a close call if Shaq can hold these pushes. And I think he'll be able to do just that. 12 laps to go, coming down to 11. It's going to be Shaq leading, and right now he's got the edge just over Josh Berry. Will Shack stays there on the high side, but you can see it's once again close quarters. Lap 90 out of 100. Wilkerson goes high, Deitch drops down low, and he'll save it, but he loses a lot of speed and hardly stays for the draft. It's a hasty merger back on, and it looks like he's going to try to merge right back up. That's a nasty one, but he keeps it together. Deitch is going to hold on, get right there with Kaloff and Schugel, and loses time big. A lot of momentum, too. We'll see if he can get back up there and keep the confidence together, as he's definitely going to wane back quickly. Daniel Mosteller going to lead the way. It's Demos with Alexander Balderas, River Page in 3rd, Jacob Wilkerson in 4th, and Will Shack then in 5th. Top 5 right now going to be just within about a 1/10.5 of each other, if less than that. And now with the single digits coming up, it's going to be a very tight run to the end. Balderas has the lead, and the help from River Page is a big deal now, because that's someone he can definitely work with, and we've seen these two together time and time again. Now, they just got to put the pieces together and hold it all together till lap 100, but it's easier said than done here with pressure from Will Shack right up top. Shack's got the lead, and it looks like he's got it by about a car length. If he wants to, he could drop down low, and it looks like the choice will be to stay with Josh Berry until now. At the line, it's going to be dropping down low. Will Shack, and he'll protect Balderas down low. Josh Berry's got it high. And 92 laps in, we're coming down to the home stretch here, and it looks like the bottom groove is going to be all that's left. Once again, the outside comes apart, and it's bad news there as a result. At the same time, you can see it's Wilkerson. He's in 4th. River Page is in 5th. James Thurston is in 6th here. Outside line, they have not tried, but if there's room to make up positions, I think they know exactly where to go. We'll see whether or not that's going to be attempted at all, as Will Shack now has a lane on the bottom. Josh Berry has his own on the second groove, and Jacob Wilkerson's right there on the middle side, so if anything happens, he might be the early adopter that benefits the most. 8 laps to go, this time by as they come around the stripe once again, and Shack still defends what he's got. Will Shack had to work down to the bottom side, and he's kept himself there now for about 3 laps running. Alexander Balderas is the pusher who's responsible for the leader, and that is by no means a small task so late in this race. Take a look on board now at Balderas as he assumes the lead of the inside line. Now he's got his own groove, and it's Josh Berry right up top. Berry being pushed there with Jacob Wilkerson, and Wilkerson immediately going to cut down low as Josh Berry remains right up there on the middle of the track. Now it's going to become much riskier as this goes on, because you'll see Josh Berry really leaving so little room. It's already going to be a tight squeeze, but for Balderas, he's on the bottom, and he can't go really any lower without having some trouble, maybe even a penalty given if he passes someone. So he can't go under that double yellow line without facing the repercussions. He doesn't want to get squeezed, though, and right now he's got to rely on the assistance all around him. 7 laps to go this time by. We are 94 laps in. Any other caution caution from this point onward would push us into what would be green-white checkered territory, and we would have ourselves a short sprint till the very end. I think, of course, right now every driver just wants to go all the way. They've gotten in such a good groove, 39 laps in succession since the last caution was flown, and it looks like right now everyone really locking in nicely as it stands. James Thurston is going to be in fourth. Third is going to be River Page. Alexander Balderas is in second. Jacob Wilkerson, he's going to be right there in first. The top spot is still with Wilkerson, your defending Superspeedway winner, but with 6 laps to go, nothing is guaranteed. And if they come across the stripe yet again, still going to be Balderas giving him all the room he needs. But we know one thing, Balderas is one to be aggressive. We saw him involved in the first 3 cautions of the night, and while we have seen several cautions since, doesn't mean there is room to be complacent now. As it stands, 6 laps to go, and it's 5 cautions on the day so far. We've only had 13 caution laps and 55 lead changes. The question is the 56 change going to be the one that gives way to the winner? Will there be a 56 lead change at all? And if there isn't going to be one, what can Wilkerson do to keep the field at bay as they come across the line again? 5 laps to go, this time led still by Jacob Wilkerson, and you see there the field going to come across quickly and staying in formation. It's a nice single file line down low that's held a lot of control tonight, but I don't think for now any driver is set on staying that way till the very end. Riding in line until the final moment is a strategy we've seen in the real world before, and more it becomes popular to wait until that last second. Now, we've seen a lot of great racing tonight, close quarters action from start to finish, but I think now it's all about being calculated at the very end. Wilkerson still there in first, Balderas in second, Barry in third. Michael Deitch was one of the guys who was really hot up in the front of the field beforehand. He's now going to be in 12th. He was aggressive, but it looks like he's going to go back to saving fuel, unlike the rest of the field beforehand, who were going slower than he is, and now finds himself at the tail end. A bit of an ironic twist, as he'll have to work his way back up here now with no track position, running in 12th. Wilkerson is going to be leading the way. It's going to be Alexander Balderas down to the bottom side. There's a lap machine now with them. That's Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez. Diaz is in, of course, a lap down position, but he's 19th no less. He's 6 laps down and now finds himself up there with the front runners. Maybe gonna give them a fight. We'll see, because he has no intention of leaving them. So I don't know what the game plan is for Diaz here. His race is almost practically over already, but it looks like he won't give in regardless, as he's got Josh Berry right behind, and they're still working with each other as they're set to come across the line all over again. At the line, it's going to be Jacob Wilkerson with 3 laps to go. Alexander Balderas remains in second here, and it's going to be River Page right behind, who's side by side with Josh Berry. That's still the fight. A car length advantage here for the number 43 of Wilkerson. Now Barry's going to be free of the lap machine, and he'll be sent right up to the top of the track, and he is gone immediately. We are now just about 6 miles away from the end of this race. Keeping in mind, if we get to the white flag next time by, it's going to be official. 2 laps to go this time through. It's a close call, and Landon Gentry shoots into the pack. Already the number 33 making moves, and he's already up into 6th. Quick move up there for Landon Gentry with 3 laps to go. Make it 2 laps remaining here in Daytona. Wilkerson down to the bottom side. Josh Berry still up top, and James Thurston now gets in the mix. Take a look at that number 96 there. As you can see, he's right up to the top of the track, and he's going for all he's got now, pushing down the Daytona super stretch. Thurston gonna make it move. He gets Josh Berry out in front, and all of a sudden there's a new race leader with a lap and a half to go. It's Berry to the points. They come up on Braxton Whitaker. Whitaker drops down quickly, luckily gets out of the way, and immediately gets the field going once again. The white flag will fly this time by, and the race will be official. They just have to make it 400 more feet, and it looks like they'll be good to go. White flag flies in Daytona. Final lap from the world center of racing, and Barry's got himself the lead. You can see there, Jacob Wilkerson maintains it on the high side. He still hasn't made the big move, if there's any left in his sleeve. Now it's going to be Balderas pushing James Thurston hard. Daniel Mosteller there with Wilkerson. He's boxed up on the middle groove. Nobody trying to take it 3. Barry's now got to defend here. He's got a back bumper full of James Thurston, and he'll go high. Thurston goes up to the top side, and he'll let Balderas get room. Number 95 shoves Thurston up and shoves Barry in 2. Everyone wrecks, and they all go around. It's going to be spinning cycles for every driver. Will Shack looks to get away, and he will come through with Landon Gentry. Gentry has no choice but to sit by and watch. Will Shack wins at Daytona. Every driver wrecked, and they're still destroying each other as they come across the line. Serrano destroyed. He gets sent over. Corey Lyles flips, and it looks like Serrano ends up on his roof as every driver is destroyed, and Serrano just gets run through again. Will Shack's first career win, and he gets it by avoiding the biggest wreck we've seen in the superspeedway in league history. Will Shack is an IORA Cup Series winner. Unbelievable that was. Will Shack is a winner, and he's set to burn down the house. We'll get your winner's interview momentarily here, and we'll move on to the Highline Racing League as Shack comes into the picture quick. Collecting the checkered flag and celebrating all throughout, Will Shack gets it done and will win from the virtual Daytona International Speedway. What a race that was here for Shack as he collects his first career win. And let's take a look at your overall race results from tonight's event. Will Shack will win from Landon Gentry by 1/10 of a second. River Page comes home in 3rd, and 4th will then be Nathan Palawada. It'll be 5th place Daniel Mosteller. 6th is going to be Beaver Serrano, and Corey Lyles is 7th. Alexander Balderas 8th, and Josh Berry position number 9. To round out the top 10, it'll be James Thurston. Then from there, you're going to see Michael Deitch in 11th, Jacob Wilkerson 12th, Henry Kaloff is going to be in 13th, and it's going to be 14th, Aaron Schugel at the end of the day. From there on out, you're going to see 15th in Xander McKinney. It's going to be 17th, Tobias Matheson. Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez is going to be in 18th. Braxton Whitaker will be in 19th, with Jackson Carr concluding the top 20, and 21st then going to be Devins Baker. Charlie Birch rounds out our entire field, and just like that, our race winner, he gets it done and pulls it all together. How about that for Will Shack, who's been waiting oh so long for an opportunity, and tonight he got on the track late, still came to the circuit, and had to go through 100 laps for this moment. It's a first career victory, and in the most dramatic of ways, you are now an IORA Cup Series winner and an IORA 250 champion. Will Shack, how does it feel?
It feels great. I've been coming for a while. I've been running well in races and just never managed to make it happen, but because here we are. Missed the first few laps of the race, managed to get back to running up front. And then once I saw that I needed to save some fuel, realized I had a plan. started lifting like crazy, and at one point I feel like I had the most feel of the field. Then I nearly threw it all away when I tried to push up front, but things worked out. And didn't expect to survive that wreck, but saw an opening and took it. And here I am.
And at the end of it all, you were able to come through that insane wreck at the very end. We're playing it back. Everyone got caught up. So what was it like as the seas parted and you came to victory lane?
So I saw them start spinning and just saw some of them getting turned high and just knew I had to sit on the apron or else I'd be killed. And right when I saw, I think it was River who I saw first getting turned down across in front of me, I thought it was over, but as more cars got piled up in there, managed to angle it perfectly right, was able to keep it straight and keep going. And just got really lucky there, but glad there was an opening. Wow.
Everything comes together perfectly. Will Shack, your very first win here. We know how long you've been trying to get it done. And what a way to open Season 5, It's a brand new season, a chance to have a clean slate, and you pull through with about your best performance ever in this league. So what's next for you after pulling it all together for this one? You think there's a chance to maybe go for more now you got the first win off your back?
Yeah, like I'm feeling pretty good about this season. Like, I like my chances next week at Auto Club. Pretty comfortable with that track. And like, hopefully I can pull something together. Like maybe looking forward to Charlotte too. Like that's another track I'm pretty comfortable at. Just feel like I can go for multiple wins finally. Long time coming.
It's a long time coming. Yeah, you're right. Go on.
I think that 2 years ago I was, nearly exactly 2 years ago actually, I was sitting here running 10 laps down at Martinsville. It's a long way.
Taken years, as you mentioned, but it's all worth it, bringing together a victory in the biggest race of the season. You're an IORA 250 champion, and you're a winner here to open up the season. Will Shack, if there's anyone else you'd like to thank, of course, the floor is yours.
Just got to thank just everyone in this race that was working with me, all in the great strategy. Like, everyone here, like, everyone over at TR Esports too, for having a great team. Just like, wow. I did not expect coming into here today. Almost didn't even make the race.
It's a moment
but
to
really
remember.
Close.
Yeah. I'll tell you this much. Will Shack coming through, nearly missing the race, but the fact you got there and registered, that's the thing that makes the big difference. Checkered flag is yours tonight. How about that?
And even, I think it was around lap 30. I was sitting there. I was like, I'm feeling good. I remember directly saying in the voice chat, I'm winning this race. And every time, Xfinity Daytona, calling my shot, I've always made it happen. Something about this track and car combo. It's always my thing.
And everything plays out well with this car combo once again. Will Shack, the checkered flag is yours. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for interviewing me.
With Will Shack on the way, unfortunately, we do not have time for your top 3 finishers from there on out. We will get them next week as we set to move on to our next broadcast of the day. The Highline Racing League at Iowa Speedway begins in less than 10 minutes, and we'll be on the call for that event as well. With that being said, we thank you for watching tonight's first broadcast. I've been David Kreutz, commentating and producing all the action, and I'll be back in about 10 minutes' time with the Highline Racing League. We hope to see you there. Yet again, thank you all for your immense support tonight, and we are set to return momentarily. We'll see you there at Iowa. Thank you for watching here from Daytona. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like on the stream and subscribe. Your support is always immensely appreciated.